Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 10, Episode 11, Clearing the Air. Okay, we pretty much pick up where we left off last week with Teresa arriving at Jackie's house in the Hamptons, thanking Jackie for inviting her and thanking Margaret for not inviting her to the Mother's Day brunch. Margaret kind of tries to diffuse it, says we'll talk about it later. Melissa said, I think I'm going to pour some wine for everyone, and she skedaddles off to the kitchen as Jackie shows the newcomers to their rooms and around the house. They're admiring everything. Dolores, I was sensing a not so subtle dig there on Dolores's part when she asked Jackie, did you buy this house decorated or did you decorate it yourself? Jackie said, oh, no, I did it. I redid everything when we moved in. Then we see the bedrooms that she is putting Jennifer, Dolores, and Teresa in. And it's another bedroom with 2 twin beds. Oh my God. I mean, to be fair, those mattresses look like they're about 2 feet thick. Yeah, they're pretty plush. But it's a whole sort of a shabby chic vibe. And just as I am about to say, Jackie clearly doesn't want anyone having sex in her house, we get to the next room that has a king, maybe it's a queen, but a big bed. And it's got its own deck and it overlooks the ocean. So Teresa said, I want a room with a deck. And I thought that Dolores said, okay, well then you have this room and I'll share with you. I thought she was saying that to Teresa. Nope. Turns out that Dolores is going to take a twin bed in the same room as Jennifer, and Teresa gets this second master bedroom all by herself. Jackie's now taking everyone outside to show them the back deck, and it has a swimming pool, and then there's a pier that goes out to the beach. Teresa's asking her, did you have to put the pool in? And she goes, no, the pool was here. They are all so curious about how Jackie has this house, Jackie tells them that the house generates about $120,000 a year in rentals. Nice investment. She is with Jennifer and Teresa. They're walking down to the end of the pier. Back up on the deck by the house is Dolores, Margaret, and Melissa. And Margaret's like, what's going on here? Why'd she come in so hot? And Dolores said, well, she was hurt. Jackie tells Jennifer and Teresa, so tonight for dinner, we're going to go to someplace really nice, the Topping Rose. Topping Rose! I was so excited. Do you remember when the New York ladies went there? I feel like, is that also an inn? For some reason, I feel like that was the inn that Tinsley and Carol stayed in. Do you guys remember how shady it was that Carol wasn't staying at Bethany's house because the two of them were so close? But it was the year that they broke up. And she and Tinsley stayed in a hotel. Maybe it was just a hotel next to the Topping Rose. I do know that they all had a dinner there at the Topping Rose, or a brunch or something. That didn't go so well for Sonia. I'm just excited to hear Topping Rose again because it reminds me of the New York ladies and how I can't wait for that season to start. All right, so back in the house, they are having a nice little, snack because it's only a few hours until dinner. But my God, there are giant sandwiches just stuffed with lunch meat and, it's a lot. It's just, there's a lot of food. Margaret comes and sits down next to Teresa. And she said, I want to talk. And Teresa's like, okay. They begin by talking about how much they both really care for each other and how right when they first met, they had such a great connection. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is going to go all right. Margaret actually finally explains that she did not say Teresa was an embarrassment. She said that it was embarrassing to me and I was embarrassed. I felt like you chose Danielle over me. That really hurt my feelings. She then asks Teresa how she could be friends with someone like Danielle, knowing all that she's done. And Teresa said, well, Danielle's never done anything to me. If you guys remember, it was a couple years ago now with Siggy and the Hitler stuff. Margaret used the analogy, Hitler never did anything to me, but I still wouldn't be friends with him. And Siggy was so offended by the mention of Hitler's name, because her father is a Holocaust survivor, that it destroyed their friendship. It became the storyline all season long. It was insane, but, it was what it was. So what's interesting is Margaret has decided to avoid that analogy like the plague, and instead she says to Teresa, I know, but Teresa, Charles Manson never did anything to me, but I'm still not inviting him into my friends circle. Teresa, who's Charles Manson? Okay, well, you know what, Margaret? Better reaction than Siggy had when you mentioned Hitler. So, it's a step in the right direction. Anyway, after people explained to her who he was, Teresa brings up that, but you threw water at her and you threw wine at her. And Margaret reminds her why she threw the wine last year. She said, Teresa, if somebody said to you, no wonder your kids don't talk to you, you're never going to be close to them, you're never going to see your grandchildren, what would you do? And that was the perfect thing to say to Teresa, because that's something Teresa can wrap her mind around. Teresa said, I would kill them. Okay. And all Margaret did was throw wine at her. Obviously, it's still not okay to throw wine at somebody, but it was something Teresa could directly relate to. I'm thinking this conversation is going pretty well. Teresa does say that when I got out of jail, 8 months after that, my mom got sick. And Danielle texts me every single day. So I'm not going to not like her. She goes on to tell Margaret that she doesn't like that Margaret put her in the position of choosing sides. And Margaret said, but you did pick sides, Teresa. You picked her side. No, I didn't. Margaret goes, of course you did. When you walked outside with her, did you say to her, Danielle, leave Margaret alone and don't ever put your hands on her? And Teresa said no. Margaret screams, why not? Teresa now gets up from the table. She can't handle this anymore. She's not going to talk to her. And she goes off into the bedroom and closes the door. Yeah, that didn't end as well as it could have. Everyone decides to just cool down for a little while until it's time to get ready and go to the restaurant. Teresa keeps saying she had too much wine to drink, and I don't know if that's going to come into play later or not. Like I said earlier, Teresa's in her big, beautiful room all by herself. I mean, why was there no fighting over that? You know Ramona would not have let her have that room without a fight. Oh, God. Bring on the season of the Housewife All-Stars. I really think we need to see that. Okie doke, so the ladies are all getting ready for topping rows. And Dolores FaceTimes with little Frankie, and we find out that he and Gia are going to prom together. He's just very sweet to his mama, tells her he loves her. Jennifer is in head-to-toe Chanel. God, I hope they're giving her some of that stuff for free. I doubt it, though, because I feel like Chanel doesn't need to give their stuff away. People are just clamoring to wear it anyway, but boy, she promotes it like she owns the company. Anyway, she walks into the kitchen and comes upon, in the freezer, a bottle of Patron. Yes! You guys, I think Tequila Jen is going to Topping Rose. And I can't wait. Oh, side note, we go to a commercial for the scariest version of Hansel and Gretel I have ever seen. Just thought I would point out that I will never be seeing that movie. So if it's good, let me know. Okay, now all the ladies are sitting down at the table at the restaurant. A few of them get up to go use the restroom, and Teresa's phone rings. You have a call from Joe. We actually didn't get to hear that this time because he wasn't on speaker yet, but I just knew that's what she was hearing. What we do hear is just her side of the conversation, and she's like, oh, come on. Are you kidding me? She's right here. You want me to tell her you said that? I'm going to tell her you said that. So then she puts him on speaker and she holds the phone out to Dolores. And Joe said, "Yeah, Teresa's always complaining about me, so I said, Dolores found herself a doctor. Maybe David's got a doctor friend for you. And I could just, make friends with him like Frank." That's not the worst idea Joe's come up with. He could just be a friend of Teresa. He's certainly not been a great husband. When the other ladies come back, she hangs up the phone with him. Oh, I forgot to mention that earlier she was talking about how she and Melania were starting to see a nutritionist and eat healthy, and they even go to the gym together, and that it's been very good for Melania. So a lot of you guys noticed that Melania seemed much thinner, and I noticed too. But I was a little bit concerned that it was stress related and not in a good way. So I was very happy to hear this because it sounds like she's doing it the right way and that she has found a healthy outlet for her stress and depression. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because it was actually a good thing to hear. So as I said, the ladies who were in the restroom came back to the table and they're filling them in on the conversation with Joe. Melissa asked Teresa, if you did not have any children, would you be working this hard to keep him from being deported? And she's like, oh, no. She immediately said no. Teresa tells them that Joe is always telling her that she's never going to find somebody else because she's got so much baggage. Teresa is having a rare moment of self-deprecation where she said, I think he might be right about that. And they're like, no, Teresa. And nobody's voice was louder than Margaret's. Absolutely not. He's just jealous. Teresa, you're a hot piece of ass. But it was nice of her to say, and Teresa appreciated that everybody made her feel better. She said, thank you guys, because I'm so tired of crying about it all the time, and you're making me laugh. And then she said to Margaret that she was sorry that she walked away earlier, and she said it was a big deal about nothing. And then she even stopped herself and said, I know it was a big deal to you, but I just meant, Margaret said, no, you're actually very right about that. It's a silly little thing, and don't give it a second thought. In Margaret's confessional, she said, do I think Teresa owes me an apology for defending that fruitcake Danielle? Yes. But also, I'm realizing how much she's dealing with the children and Joe. I just don't want to be another stressor for her. Anyway, the talk gets around to money, and I think it's because Teresa said, Joe told me no matter what that he would always take care of me. And Dolores said, I don't know if you have a short memory or not, but let's be clear. You've been supporting him for the last 3 years. And Teresa said, I never relied on a man for money, ever. When I met him, I was a buyer for Macy's. Really? I find that very hard to believe. In my wildest dreams, I cannot picture Teresa as a buyer for Macy's. Anyway, Melissa said, well, can I share a secret that I know about Jackie? Okay, thanks for saying it out in public. Jackie looks slightly uncomfortable. I don't think she knows exactly what Melissa is about to say. But she said in the car on the way over, Jackie shared with us that she made Evan sign a prenup when they got married. And everyone's like, what? Well, Jennifer's eyes bug out of her head like a cartoon, like a auga. She just sat up straight and Jackie became much more interesting to her. Jackie said yes because she has family money and she just figured that anything that they make together or any investments with that money that Jackie makes, that will be both of theirs, 50-50. But she just felt like it was a way to protect her parents and their money. But whatever. I mean, she doesn't have to explain it. That makes sense. Jennifer is just peppering her with question after question after question. Okay, so who owns the Hampton house? You or you and Evan? And she's like, me and Evan. Okay, do you own any other properties? Do you this and that, and what's yours and what's both of yours? And oh my God. Jennifer then tells her that she's very impressed by all that. Hopefully not the inheritance, because what is to be impressed by inheriting money from your parents? I hope what she means is that she is impressed by the investments that Jackie has made with that money. Then Jennifer goes on to say she thinks that the man should be more intelligent than his wife. Dolores in her confessional said, Jennifer's really going too far with this old school stuff. She's like, I just couldn't imagine not having him be smarter than me. Okay, I kind of understand what she means. I wouldn't want to be with somebody who wasn't as intelligent as I was either. But I'm telling you right now, I do not require him to be more intelligent than me. And he's not. And just in case he's watching this right now, we are of equal intelligence. And I think he knows that. But anyway, Dolores says no man is smarter than a woman. And everybody's laughing. And I'm thinking, Teresa, what are you laughing at? I mean, Juicy Joe is no scholar, but neither are you. And apparently neither is your friend Jennifer. Okay, now it is the next morning and Melissa has gone downstairs to make breakfast for everyone. Teresa is out at the beach doing yoga. People are all getting up and coming downstairs. Jennifer tells Jackie that she showed Bill the house last night, or that morning. And then we see a little footage of her with the phone on FaceTime, showing her the living room. And this is the living room. And she's kind of whispering and showing the whole house to Bill. And she said, and Bill said, buy one. And everyone laughed. And Melissa goes, is he serious? And she said, well, I mean, there's an element of truth to it. But you guys, Melissa's confessional is the best. She goes, I want a beach house, Daddy. I mean, her Veruca really comes out. If she's got one, I want one too. There is a case to be made for Melissa being on this show. Just saying. I know people think she doesn't have any storylines of her own. She doesn't. I know people believe that this we're going to have another baby storyline is fake. It might be. But when she comes up with lines like this and confessionals like this, in my mind, there is a place for her on this show. I always need that woman who is going to talk to us like she's in on the joke with us. I need that. That is the Bethany role for me. Okay, but the important part of this whole scene is to point out that Jackie is not eating again. In fact, when she saw Melissa making breakfast, she said, oh, do you need me to help? And she said, no, I've got it. And Jackie said, oh, everything looks great, but I'm not that hungry. I think I'm just going to have coffee. That kind of slid by, and now all this food is on the table. There's eggs and sausage and bacon and avocado and asparagus. I mean, it's a beautiful breakfast. And Jackie grabs a bag of vegetable chips and starts eating those. Oh, these are so good, you guys. And she's snacking on them. She wasn't able to pull that one off so well, I don't think. It's a little concerning. All right, so everyone has gone to their rooms to get dressed and ready to go shopping for the afternoon. They go do that. Everyone gets back to the living room. Teresa's the last one who's not there yet. And they start talking about Teresa and Joe and their marriage. A little bit about how disrespectful Joe is to Teresa. We get a flashback to probably the most iconic scene of his disgusting behavior when they were at the vineyard with the Manzos. Probably the whole cast was there then. I can't remember what year it was, but you guys all know the scene. Joe walks off when his phone rings. The idiot is still mic'd, so of course we hear the whole thing. And he's talking about his idiot wife, that she's a C word and all that, when Teresa comes walking up saying, hey, come on back to the table. It was so cringeworthy. And Bravo keeps showing that to us again. And it was a real point of no return for me, and probably for most of you guys, in terms of liking him or not. It was just over at that point. All right, now we get to the little shopping center in West Hampton. And guys, I need to add it to my list of places I want to go. I love all these little streets with the quaint shops on either side. And my fear, though, is that it's super, super crowded with tourists. I don't know if that is true or not, or if there's a better time of year to go. If any of you guys are familiar with it or have been there, I'm curious to know, like, what would be the best time of year to go. And also, I want it to be warm enough that you could sit outside at one of these little cute cafes and stuff. So I don't want to go in the dead of winter. But all I have ever heard is there's kind of like one road into the Hamptons, and the traffic is insane, I guess in the summer. But you know, all the celebrities like fly in or helicopter in, so I don't know. So we're getting back and forth scenes between two groups. Jennifer and Margaret have split off from the others and went to like a home goods store where she could buy a little housewarming gift for Marge Sr. because she's in her new apartment now. And the others have gone to little like clothing boutiques. Over in the store with the four of them, Jackie tells them she's never met someone who's that concerned about money before. Dolores said, yeah, but she didn't grow up with money. And I give her a pass because she is very, very generous with her money now. And Melissa agreed that Jennifer's very generous. So Jackie said, okay, maybe I need to give her another shot. In the home goods store, Jennifer tells Margaret she can't believe how much money Jackie has. Margaret said that she knew that Jackie had that kind of money. Jennifer said, knowing now that she has that much money, she just seems kind of cheap. I mean, her kids' party, she had pizza and cake. Her house is beautiful. Like, she could have a pasta platter out or something. $45, no big deal. Margaret kind of laughed and she said, I just think she doesn't think about food at all. Have you noticed she never eats? I just think it's not on her mind to serve. Like, she's just not thinking about food. Oh, I think she thinks about food. I think that's probably the problem. Jennifer goes, yeah, I just think she's stingy. Now all the ladies meet up at a little outdoor restaurant. It's cute. They sit down. Jennifer gets up to use the restroom, and Margaret, little pot stir Margaret, immediately tells Jackie that Jennifer thinks she's stingy. Why? She starts laughing, and in her confessional she said, I just thought it was funny. I didn't think Jackie was going to take it so seriously. Didn't you though? Of course, the second that Jennifer sits down, Jackie brings it up to her. Jennifer is taken aback, kind of gives a little side glance at Margaret, like, seriously? Okay. And she starts backpedaling a little bit, but mostly defending her stand on it. She tells her that pizza and cake is just a play date for me. When my kids have a party, I pull out all the stops. I want to make it very memorable. It gets really bad. Jackie said, you know what my kids wanted for their birthday? Pizza and a Nutella cake. That's it. Jennifer says, but now we know you have all this money, so you should enjoy it. Jackie said, I am enjoying my money. Then Jennifer implies that, oh, maybe she just spends the money on herself and not her children. Jackie's like, I am boiling inside. The idea that I'm stingy with my kids, it just really gets down in the mud. Jennifer, like I said, she's like, I'm sorry, but that party's very forgetful. Your kids are going to forget soon. It was mean. Teresa chimes in with, it's just that, like, we're European and we make a lot of food. Okay, I have to admit something to you guys, because I laughed out loud at that when I was watching, because Teresa said they were European, and I did not think Turkey was in Europe. But I looked it up, and it is in both Eastern Europe and Western Asia. So, my bad. I was about to say, don't anybody take geography advice from Teresa. How Teresa knew, I don't know. But I'm coming clean. I did not. I laughed at Teresa and the joke's on me. Anyway, Melissa's like, Jennifer. And she goes, what? And she said, you're making fun of her kid's birthday party. That's how I feel. I came back from the bathroom and I got ambushed with this stingy stuff. What about her? She's the one that keeps saying you have an issue with food. She's always talking about you not eating. All right. Jennifer's here for it. In her confessional, Jennifer said, you want to throw me under the bus, honey? Girl, I hope you're ready to get run over because you're coming right there with me. Yep. So you do not cross Tequila Jen. I don't even think it's Tequila Jen here. The tequila was from the night before, right? This might be Margarita Jen. I think I like her too. This is getting good, guys. So Jackie, of course, gets mad at Margaret. You think I don't eat? Because let me tell you something. I worked very hard to get to a place where I can eat. This is very upsetting. And Margaret's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I apologize. I am sorry. I should not have said that. Okay, this is where we can see the true division between these ladies. right? Because they're all cordial to one another, or they have been at least since the dinner the night before, all laughing and getting along. But the true ride or die loyalties, Melissa, Margaret, and Jackie have each other's backs. And Jennifer, Dolores, and Teresa have each other's backs. And it does not cross over. Not like that. And when things get dicey, they are going to fall into those two camps. And that's kind of what's happening now. Because the ones who are chiming in defense of either Jackie or Jennifer. Anyway, Jackie appreciated Margaret's apology and said that it was coming from a good place, but that Jennifer was not coming from a good place. Now, why is she so willing to believe that Margaret talking about her not eating was coming from a good place? Because she is a ride or die with Margaret. She was probably hurt and disappointed that Margaret said that, I'm sure, especially coming from Margaret. But her genuine friendship with Margaret made her forgive Margaret. She does not have that with Jennifer. This whole season's been really rocky for them, but they were just starting to be kind of nice to each other, and this is, forget it. All bets are off. Teresa's like, I think it's okay. She's just being honest. That's her opinion. Because even though she made up with Jackie and she appreciated that Jackie invited her to her house, it's still not that loyal friendship that she feels to, say, Dolores and I guess Jennifer. And Melissa, who do you think she's going to stick up for? Yeah. She said, yeah, but see, that's what you're like, Teresa. You just like whatever you think comes out of your mouth. And that's how Jennifer is. And it's like an ignorance that, oh no. Did Melissa just use the word ignorance? We know how she meant it. But do you think that Teresa heard anything other than you're ignorant? I don't. She doesn't seem to react to that. But, Teresa needs 14 hours, right? She needs that processing time. We'll see if this comes back to bite Melissa in the ass. Anyway, now Jennifer is making fun of the giant Amazon box of party favors. Oh, God. Now, to be fair, I have never done anything like that. You couldn't sort out those toys and put them in little gift bags. Come on. Make it a sweet little parting gift. It was like 2% effort on her part, this party. The kids might have been fine, and all they really cared about was getting the gift, but I don't know. Just put a little bit of effort into it. Jennifer's like, it was like going to the dentist office. Here, kids, and you just have to wade through a bunch of stuff and find what you want. Yeah, that's what it was like. So Melissa is, I guess, trying to smooth things over, but she goes to Jennifer, the way you have a party for your kids, which is the way I do, and you do, and you do. We're the losers. She's the winner, pointing to Jackie. And they're like, what? Why? And she goes, because she's saving. She's saving for their future. And we're all the losers. She's winning. They are not happy with that. And she goes, she's setting up a nice future for her kids. 30 years from now, we're the losers. And Jennifer goes, are you saying my kids won't be successful 30 years from now? Oh, girl. I just hope they're not in jail 30 years from now. Savages. They're savages. Not Gabriella, though. She's an angel. Olivia, 30 years from now, ooh. I'd love a check-in, but I can't imagine. That one scares me. I love her so much now, though. I want that one to stay 6 years old for about 10 more years, because she is hilarious. Anyway, so when she goes, are you telling me my kids won't be successful in 30 years? Melissa goes, bitch, what are you talking about? The more important part was that you called her a bitch, because now that's what she's zeroing in on. Jennifer, don't call me a bitch, bitch. And she shoves some utensils across the table. They are on opposite sides of the table and at the far end, so they couldn't be further from each other. Now she's shoving dishes and stuff at Melissa. And Melissa backs up her chair and stands up. She's like, you better back off. Jennifer stands up, gets even closer. No. Oh, I'm scared. And that's where this episode ends. Yeah, guys, it's a to be continued. Oh boy. I am on the edge of my seat. I cannot wait for next week. Thank you guys for joining me this week. If you liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Jill Informed. If you would like to be notified when I have future videos coming out, please click on the bell and do not forget to leave a comment down below. Oh my gosh, are you guys just dying for next week like I am? Probably not. All right, I will be back next week and I hope you join me. Bye.